Sporting Communities are a community interest company. We are an ethical, non-for-profit organisation which services range from sports coaching, youth work, mentor and family support. We're a training academy delivering a range of qualifications, and we also have an art and play services. Over the next coming weeks, Sporting Communities will be delivering health, fitness and wellbeing podcasts covering all relevant topics. This is our second podcast. My name is Mike. I work for Sporting Communities. I'm a qualified PT. My interests are staying fit and healthy, reading and bike riding. In today's podcast, we've got Ed and Shaq, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Yeah, cheers, Mike. So my name's Ed. I work for Sporting Communities. I'm a qualified PT, qualified about 3 years ago. I'm also a badminton coach and do a bit of sports coaching for Sporting Communities as well. My interests are just seeing friends, staying fit and healthy, going to the gym, taking my dog on walks. So, Shaq, over to you.
Cheers, Ed. I'm Shaq, also a qualified PT. I have a huge passion for health and fitness. I'm also a sports coach at Sporting Communities. My main interests are football and fitness and enjoying time with family and friends.
Okay, guys, then. So, another week into lockdown. How we're both feeling, how the workouts going, how's the diet going? Mike, do you want to go first?
My diet's going pretty well. Still in that mini deficit, eating small but often, 5 meals a day. I'm very hydrated. I'm having at least 4 litres of water a day. It's helping me feel full, helping me target those cravings for like bad food and stuff, because I'm feeling fuller for longer by eating properly, drinking more water, etc. My training's going pretty well. I'm training between 4 to 5 times a week, doing what I can. Loads of home workouts, resistance band exercises. So yeah, all good so far. Staying positive.
Nice. Shaq, what about you?
So yeah, basically the same as Mike. Still in basically a calorie deficit. I'm eating about 4 meals a day. My training slipped off a bit. I'm still training about 3 to 5 days a week, but obviously with all this going on, it's stressful. So it's still good to train. And I usually drink about 3 liters of water a day as well. But besides that, everything's going good, to be honest.
Good. So today we're going to talk about junk food. We're going to cover some different workouts. And then we're also going to answer a few of your questions, which actually leads me on to the first question. I'm craving bad food while in lockdown. What could I eat to keep me away from bad foods? So Shaq, do you want to kick us off? What do you think?
So if it was me, I've got a sweet tooth. So when I'm craving like chocolate, sweets, stuff like that, fizzy drinks, I usually what I like to usually do, I usually get some Greek yogurt, some granola, fresh fruit, strawberries, bananas, grapes, all the sweet ones, put them in a bowl and just have that, because obviously that stops my cravings of sweet stuff.
Okay, so you replace it, do you? Yeah?
Yeah, I replace it with basically what I've just said, yeah.
Cool. Nice. Mike, what do you think?
Well, if you've got the time to cook, then I'll probably refer to like the glycemic index. So, the glycemic is like a relative ranking of carbohydrates in foods, and that how they affect blood glucose levels. So, you want to be eating foods like, which are like, pasta, oatmeal, things like that. Things that's going to make you feel fuller for longer. Like I have porridge and stuff every morning, so that makes me feel like full for like a very long time. I think sweet potatoes are a good one as well. So any kind of meals you can put together, like using, like I said, you can always refer to the glycemic index online and stuff if you're unsure on what foods they are.
Nice. No, I like both them points actually. I think that another option would be if you know that you're one of those that has very little willpower. I guess if you don't have the snacks there or the bad options there, then it kind of takes that craving away because you have nothing to snack on. So yeah. I think, again, what we touched on last week about going shopping and being very cautious when you do go shopping, and that you don't, go crazy and just pick up loads and loads of biscuits, crisps, because you're just craving it. I think if you can get through that shop without necessarily filling your basket full of snacks and bad food, when you get home, you're there. So that's the hardest part, I think, the shop. So
Yeah.
I think they both work good together, like what I said, what Shag said, because obviously the low glycemic foods are known to reduce your appetite, make you feel fuller for longer, such as pasta, whole grains, porridge, oatmeals. But then also, what Shaq's done is like replaced it for like a very, healthy snacks such as fruit and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I agree. Yeah. So the actual question was, what could I eat to keep me away from bad food? So yeah, Shaq, you've hit the nail on the head there. You've replaced it. Same with you, Mike. So I thought that some other options that I kind of looked up and thought about was, so instead of chocolate, you could replace it with dark chocolate, because it contains a lot more fiber, iron, magnesium, also a lot of antioxidants. So that's good.
Yeah.
One other option you could do is sweet potato wedges. Again, they're very higher in vitamin B, C, and D.
Or a good one's lentil chips as well.
Lentil chips, yeah, nice.
Lentil chips.
Yeah, I replace that when I want crisps.
Oh yeah, I love crisps.
Yeah, so we've got frozen yogurt instead of ice cream. Again, ice cream full of fat and sugar. So frozen yogurt's lower in both. Also helps with digestive system. So another option instead of crisps can be popcorn. So instead of obviously crisps, that's one of my worst things to eat. I'll just nail a whole big bag in one go. So you don't really obviously know that they're obviously full of salt and saturated fat, and you don't really know how much of that you're eating. So like Mike just mentioned, if you're doing it homemade, you can obviously put in as much salt or sugar as you want, so you know how much you're putting in. And I think as well, we all love that kind of childhood, making popcorn and hearing the pops.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple more while we're here is dried fruit instead of sweets.
So some dry fruits are good, obviously, in little portions, like mango for one. Obviously, that's still very sweet, but in a little portion, it's better than having normal sweets.
Yeah, mango, apple, and cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just a few options. I think a big crave at the minute is everyone cooking banana bread as well. That's another good option instead of cake. Making banana.
Yeah, we can try some of my cookies.
Oh, how have we missed that off? Yeah, Mike, go on. Tell everyone listening about your cookies.
Oh no, I think the first lot of cookies of cookies we tried, obviously, were not as good as the ones I can do now. And the beauty of that recipe is, you can add whatever you want to it. You can add nuts to it. You can have different nut butters, dried fruit. If you've got any protein powder, you can add that in. Stuff that makes you feel fuller for longer. And the best part about it is that you get the satisfaction. You made it at home. You're consuming it, and you feel good. You feel good about it. Do you know what I mean?
For anyone who's not seen the video as well, what are the ingredients and how do you do it? Just want to give us
a quick one. Dead simple. So get yourself a little glass mixing bowl. All it takes is two mashed bananas, 100 grams of porridge oats, and you're pretty much there. And then you obviously need to mix all that together so you get like a nice smooth texture. And then from there, add whatever you want in. I think I put in chocolate chip and cinnamon. I've put honey in sometimes. I've put dried fruit.
How long?
How long it takes? I literally put 180 degrees in the oven and for 12 to 15 minutes. Depends how crispy you like. I like mine quite crispy, so you need that a little bit longer. But yeah, 12 to 15 minutes, guys.
So in the space of probably half an hour with all your prepping as well, you've got some homemade lovely cookies.
Yeah, I'd say it take you 20. I'd say it take you 20 minutes once you get used to doing it.
20 minutes. And do you have to use banana, or can you replace that?
I will come up with a solution, but at the minute I'm just using banana. I mean, everybody's got a spare bit of fruit lying around at home. Do you know what I mean? So.
Be sure to check out the video as well. It's on our Facebook page, Sporting Communities, and it's Mike's Cookies. So yeah, go and check it out, and feel free to post your results on the page as well.
Nice one.
So cheers for that, guys. So Mike, I think you've got a question as well, haven't you?
Yes. So I think one of the questions, a good question that could be is, so I'm eating chocolate late at night. Is there anything I could substitute that still gives me the chocolate type? Like, still a bit chocolatey, still a bit sweet. I think Shaq come up with an idea earlier, like dried fruit and stuff. But if we were to talking like, what do you say, chocolatey terms or something that gives you that, you know, something that's, you know, for your sweet tooth, what would you guys say satisfies you?
Basically, like Ed said earlier, if you're looking for chocolate, just have a few squares of the dark chocolate.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough question because I'd probably suggest not to have really chocolate too late at night. One, because I think it's probably going to give you like a bit of a sugar rush. Yeah. And especially if you're just about to go to bed, it's probably not the best thing to have. But I think in the previous question, we got some good replacements there. I would always resort to looking online as well. There's some great resources online. So if none of the suggestions we've previously said you want to use, then just go online. Google, YouTube, both of them is where I always go if I'm ever struggling for any sort of meal replacements or different ideas of snacks or healthy alternatives. So
when it comes into the evening, I do crave something sweet, but it's not necessarily chocolate. So an alternative for chocolate for me would be yogurt, like Greek yogurt. You know, high in protein, sweet, satisfying substitute. Good source of vitamins and minerals. Also, like I add to it like peanut butters and stuff, like, you know, any kind of like nut butters or anything, like almonds, cashews that are full of taste. They're high in protein too, low in carbs, good amounts of fiber, improves digestion. So these are the things I have before I go to bed, and then you can always make it a bit sweet. Do you know what I mean? And that will sort of like will stop me craving chocolate.
A good one to kind of mention, I think it's an interesting one that we'll touch on in future podcasts, is if you're looking for kind of a healthy replacement, don't believe if you're going shopping and you see like these snack bars and different kind of low fat or claiming healthy snack bars. Always read the box and the ingredients.
Nutritional value.
Yeah, the nutritional values, because I wouldn't believe kind of the big headline on the front of the box all the time.
In fat, but then it's high in sugar, or no added sugar, but then there's loads of saturated fat. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's like the traffic code, like obviously on the front of the wrapper, like obviously it says everything's green sometimes, but then if you look at the back, you see what's in it as well, and it's not always like meant to be all green.
Yeah, it all comes down to marketing, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'd just be, if you are looking for healthy alternatives and you think that you're picking something healthier up, I'd just be wary of looking at the nutritional values and just being aware of what you are actually eating and not believing what it's claiming on the front of the box all the time. Some things are, but it's just something to be aware of, and I think that we will probably touch on that in future podcasts a bit more.
Okay then, Shaq, so I think you've got another question for us, haven't you?
Yeah, so it's, what is the best time of the day to work out? And for example, 6 times 5-minute exercises spread out across the day, is it as good as a full 30-minute workout?
Oh, that's a tough one, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, I would as well.
It's a good question, yes.
So what I'd say is, 6 times 5-minute ones, yeah, it's going to feel like you're working for 5 minutes, but in that space of time, you're going to be burning as many calories as you could in a full 30-minute workout.
Yeah.
My answer to that is no, really, because if you're having 6 times 5-minute workouts, you're not really increasing anything there because you keep having long breaks. You're not increasing the intensity or anything, so you're not going to burn as many calories.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it depends on. I think it's knowing your own body. I think that
exactly.
If you've been working out for a long time, and say you're used to doing probably 3 or like yourselves 3 to 5 times a week working out, I think you've trained your muscles more to have a longer but still intense workout. So half an hour isn't really a problem, and you need that half an hour to keep pushing your muscles. I think 5 minutes is okay, but for someone that's trained for years, it's not going to be pushing your muscles as much as they need, because there's very little you can do in 5 minutes. So I'd say someone who's experienced and trained for years, the half an hour is probably you're going to get better results from that. Whereas someone who's relatively new to training or limited in time, so if you are limited in time, you can't get half an hour in, then 5 minutes, 5 minutes is great, because the more the better. Because it's going to keep reminding your body as well that, okay, workout, another workout, and your body's going to naturally react because it's doing that more and more. So I think someone as well who's new to training, their bodies will probably react better for the 5 minutes, because we know that when we've all had a bit of time off and we go back to the gym and have a really good workout, intense workout, say if you're training legs and you can't walk for the next week, it's not very good. You want to be able to train the next day and the next day and the next day. So there's no point training for half an hour and having a week off, because you've missed out on another 6 days where you could have potentially trained if you're doing them smaller 5-minute workouts. So it's a tough question, because I think it does depend how your body reacts and what stage of training you are. But I think either's good. Like any sort of exercise is good.
No, I totally agree with what you said, Ed. Yeah.
What about you, Mike?
I'd say, well, there's benefits of like regular exercise, which includes like everything from like losing weight, getting better sleep, increasing energy levels. Keeping fit can like helping your self-confidence and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely go with your answer, Ed. Depends on how new you are to the game. Depends on the intensity of the workout. Someone who's relatively new, someone who's been training 5, 6, 7 years. And I like what you said. I think when you said when you've had quite a long time off, and then you go and do like a massive workout, and then all of a sudden you can't train for a couple of days. Because I've been in that situation before. I've had like a week off, and then I've just gone and done like a massive leg session, and absolutely ripped myself off for like 2 or 3 days, sometimes 4 days. But it was a good workout. But then you ask yourself, why did I do that? Was there any need for that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think as well, touching on your point, depends what your goal is as well, because I know a lot of the time we refer to training as lifting weights, but there's a lot of people who love cardio and have other goals. So it depends what your goal is, because if you want to train for 5k, 10k, half marathon, then 5 minutes, as much as it's going to be, it's probably not the correct training. So you're going to get more out of doing the half an hour. Again, weight loss, depends how your body reacts. I mean, like you mentioned, Shaq, burning calories. Are you going to be able to burn more calories in the 5 minutes than the half an hour? And then again, what we've touched on is your available time, because some people don't have that half an hour free where they can get a full workout in. It might be that someone can do 2 lots of 15 minutes, 4 lots of 15 minutes, or 6 lots of 5 minutes. It just depends what time you have available. But in answer to the question, which is better, I think it really depends on the individual and what goal they have.
Wonderful, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Ed, back to you for the next question.
Yeah, cheers, Shaq. So the next question is, what exercises can I do as a family that will keep me fit and my kids engaged and entertained whilst I work out? So Mike, what do you think to this question?
I think there's I think you can come up with like loads of games and stuff. I mean, some games involve a lot of exercise and stuff. So I'd say charades. Charades can be a good one. It involves all the family. You can have some fun with it. You can turn it into a bit of a sport one. You guys could all turn around and say, right, we're going to do sport categories. Let's guess the sport. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You can do some. Is it called dance party or something? You can do That's a good one. What about like mini circuits or something? Like mini circuits for like all the families.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to say. Yeah. That's a good one. Family circuits, obviously. Like it's hard to describe what you can do over a podcast, but if you look on the internet, there's loads of stuff on there you can do.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've had a few comments where they obviously either can't get the time free, so they've got the child with them. So I think engaging them within the workout somehow. I saw not long ago on Facebook the guys off SES Who Dares Wins, and they were doing a workout with a child, and they had a big dice. Now you could probably use anything. You could make one if you needed to, or use a cardboard box and write numbers on. So they basically, 3 of them, they rolled the dice out, and whatever number it landed on, they did however they picked a certain exercise and they did however many the dice landed on. So obviously it's a bit adding a bit of fun into it, because a bit of excitement while the dice is rolling. Are you going to get a 1? Are you going to get a 10? And even then, if you kind of, you could use that and incorporate some home learning, so some maths into it. So say if you rolled the dice, say you've got to, I don't know, times it by 2, whatever number it lands on. So you got that maths element, the workout, so you've got a bit of PE, maths involved as well. So that, yeah, I saw that and I just thought that's a really good idea. But you can do it with anything, I guess. You could, again, use pack of cards. So you've got to pick out a card and then do however many reps that card that you picked out was, and stuff like that.
Yeah, any basic exercise movements. I mean, like, whether it's the mum or the dad with the kids, you do jumping jacks, leg raises, squats, burpees, sit-ups, push-ups. You can do body weight lunges and stuff.
Yeah,
just loads of little simple movements like that. That's classed as exercise, and that's something you can do with all your kids and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say if you can't get the free time or you're struggling, I think always a good way is kind of keep them engaged within the workout. So show them some exercises that they could do, and get them involved as well, because you probably get more rest and peace doing that when they're involved. So they actually copy you or let you do your exercise, then they do theirs, which is your bit of rest in between. I don't know, something like that. But very basic exercises, so movements that all kids can do, like really simple exercises, like you said, Mike. Yeah.
You know that one where they jog on the spot, where someone jogs on the spot and they have to shout an instruction, whether it's like 1, 2, 3, or 4. The kids could do it to like the parents and stuff and have a bit of fun like that, see how fit the parents are, then the kids could do it. I think that would be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And again, add something else in, so that maths elements, they could, do all sorts, and they've got to work out what number it is for this certain exercise. So they've got to do a certain times table, or I don't know, just trying to use your imagination and think outside the box with the stuff you're doing.
Okay, so a simple one is that even you can go out for a walk for 30 minutes. So it's just anything simple like that.
Yeah, as simple as that, exactly. You don't need to kind of make things complicated. Keep it simple.
Yeah, like a nice family item or something. No wrong with that.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could like make it a routine. So like every day after dinner, they know it's a pre or post dinner walk all together. Even something as simple as, if you're working out, maybe letting them pick the music. You're like, oh, you're DJ for this workout, and then they can just keep them occupied picking music. Really simple stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it what's that chicken limbo thing? That's a good one, isn't it? Chicken limbo.
What's chicken limbo?
So there's other simple ones as well. Some of the ones we do when we're coaching kids, we do like, what's the time, Mr. Wolf?
Oh yeah, I think I called that one Grandma's Footsteps, but yeah, I think it's the same game, isn't it?
I think another good one is, so if you're watching a lot of TV at home and you want to do a workout, but necessarily that you won't get the free time or left alone, turning the TV commercials into fitness breaks. So they're getting best of both worlds. So you're watching TV, but you make a deal that we'll watch TV as long as in the fitness breaks, we can do a quick 2-minute blast workout, and then get them involved that way. You could have a weekly sports night. So maybe like a bit of a leaderboard. So similar to golf, where people have handicaps, like the child might have a bit less of a goal or handicap to reach before they win. So you could do it like a tournament base and get the competitive side out of them that way.
That's a good idea, and the whole leaderboard thing. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. So we also had a couple of comments. One being, I have arthritis in my feet. Can I have some low impact aerobic exercises to do in the house that won't flare up my arthritis? So Shaq, what do you think?
So good little exercises that are low impact are like calf raises. That's little impact. Lunges, squat pulses. Obviously you can do press ups, you can do sit ups. There's quite a bit of stuff you can do for that stuff.
Yeah, good point. Mike, what about you?
Okay, so they're good alternatives. What Shaq's gun, as in like some low aerobic exercises, what can do in the house that won't flare up the condition. But something, if you want to help it, then have you guys ever heard of the ankle alphabet?
Oh, yeah, I did this when I sprained my ankle, I think.
Okay, so I think that's just a case of like lying on your back or on your chair and prop up your affected foot, and then slowly like trace the letter of the alphabet, A, B, and so on. I think nice and slow. So some nice movements in that. But yeah, most importantly, some stretching. Stretching your Achilles tendon, the balls of your feet, your toes. I think it's a case of like trying to increase the flexibility. So I mean, that would be like you got a toe extension. You could stretch it, hold it for like 15 seconds, release it, and do the same again. So I think it's about stretching like all angles of your foot. Keeping that mobility, keep a bit of movement and stuff in it.
I think we've all suffered from certain things that prevent us really from going full out or us doing a workout and then it aching or hurting for the next few days. But I think a couple of the points I saw was yoga's a great one to do. It's getting more and more popular as time goes on, and I've done a couple of yoga workouts, and honestly, it's so difficult. I can't, I've trained for years, and I joined a yoga class, and I never realised how actually weak I was in terms of some movements. And it's really good for your general well-being as well. A TRX. So if you're able to purchase one or have something in your house, I guess you could use a towel for certain exercises that are really low impact. So your feet are planted on the floor for these, but you can do full body workouts with this. Pilates is another really good one. So that's more focusing on rebalancing and improving your posture through slow and controlled movements and exercises. So that obviously really helps. Similar with yoga, your mental and physical well-being. It's going to lead us on to the next point about resistant bands, but I use my resistant band for a lot of low impact exercises. So a lot of the time I'll tie it around my legs and do like side lunges. It just adds that bit of resistance, but still really works the muscle, and also still really low impact because my feet are never bouncing or I'm not jumping around. It's really slow and controlled. There's just a few more options for you there.
I totally agree with that.
I think I think it's just mainly to do with doing exercises. Don't do anything that hurts you. What they say, position of mild discomfort. So nothing that hurts you. Start nice and easy. Increase it over time. Hold for 15 seconds. Anything that hurts, don't do it.
Yeah, spot on. Like learn from it. So
yeah.
know your limits. That might come after a couple of workouts where it feels fine after, and you think maybe I could have pushed it a bit more. A lot of the time, if someone does suffer from arthritis, they'll know what triggers it and they'll know their limits. So I guess it's just sticking within the means of that. But in terms of exercises, I hope that we've given you a few there. And if not, again, please comment. And there is always Google and YouTube, where I would always look, would be my first port of call if I was struggling with or had a lack of exercises I felt I can do. I've had it with my shoulder in the past. I'll always just go on YouTube, hundreds of different exercises you can do. And it's just, again, trying them out, finding what hurts, what doesn't, knowing what works for you. And eventually you'll have so many different exercises you can kind of incorporate into one workout or many different workouts that will help you hit the goals that you've got. So Shaq, to finish up, I think we had one more comment, did we?
Yeah, we did. So can I have some resistant band workouts that will give me more toned arms? So that's a good one, really, yeah, because in the near future, we'll be posting a few videos of resistant band workouts on our social media page.
Yeah, they're quite common now, aren't they? So, I mean, all you two other guys got resistance bands. I've got resistance bands. If that's what we've been asked, then yeah, definitely we'll get some videos posted.
Right then, so I think that finishes us up for today's podcast. Again, if you have any other comments or want to ask any other questions, just drop them in the comment box under the podcast and we'll be sure to answer them.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Any comments, let us know. We'll answer it to the best of our capabilities.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for listening.
As always, remember, stay in, stay safe, stay positive,